Everyone believes Jigglypuff is merely a harmless pink sphere until the first note echoes. She does not sing to harm, she sings to be admired. Her body inflates slightly, her eyes fix forward, and the melody begins.
Jigglypuff, 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 Jigglypuff.
The problem lies in her voice. It carries sonic waves capable of inducing deep sleep. Reports suggest only a few seconds are enough. Resistance does not matter. Strength does not matter. If you hear it, you fall. When the song ends and she realizes no one remained to appreciate it, frustration surfaces. A permanent marker appears. Faces are covered in quiet retaliation. No one is forgotten. Not out of cruelty, but out of wounded pride. She sings to be heard, yet her gift prevents anyone from listening to the end. Perhaps the problem is not the sound, but how it is received. And perhaps, for the first time, someone will remain awake. Not by coincidence, Loudred may possess the ability Soundproof, which makes him immune to sound-based attacks. He transforms sound into pressure. His body vibrates like a living speaker cabinet. The natural amplifiers inside his ears magnify any noise until it becomes a shock wave. Reports describe buildings trembling when he screams. While everyone falls asleep at Jigglypuff's song, Loudred remains awake, because to him, sound is not melody, it is ammunition. He opens his mouth, and the air splits apart. But constant vibration evolves, and when volume stops being merely loud and becomes devastating, the echo reaches another scale. Exploud is the pinnacle of sonic power. Openings spread across his body function as synchronized cannons. His roar is not merely loud, it is expansive. It can be heard from miles away. Yet curiously, he does not live screaming. Reports describe Exploud as surprisingly calm outside of battle. Silence precedes impact. He does not seek to prove anything, he simply responds when provoked. But sound is still something external. There is another form of expression that does not depend on vibrating air. It depends on gesture. It depends on intention. And when the stage ceases to be auditory, it becomes visual. Mr. Mime does not increase the volume. He builds the stage. With precise movements of his hands, he creates invisible barriers that feel real to the touch. Those who watch believe it is only performance, until they collide with something they cannot see. He does not shout, he performs. If Loudred wants to be heard and Exploud wants to be felt, Mr. Mime wants to be understood, but he almost never is. Many see him as strange, uncomfortable, difficult to interpret. And perhaps the greatest challenge is not producing sound. It is transmitting emotion. Because when expression ceases to be physical, it becomes feeling. Jinx, in her own way, wants to express her affection to the world. Jinx does not sing loudly. She sings differently. She transmits emotion. Her style resembles an almost hypnotic performance, blending gestures with a vocal tone that resembles human speech. Some consider her elegant, others incomprehensible, but not to Mr. Mime. Two misunderstood beings who understand one another. Ancient reports speak of Jinx swaying her hips while murmuring rhythmic sounds, almost as if in a trance. She does not seek to destroy, she seeks connection. When that connection meets another misunderstood soul, things tend to work out. Unlikely companions who complete one another. But in this world, Not every language is universal, and sometimes the message does not seek to be understood. Speech does not echo in the air. It echoes inside the mind. Mushana does not sing. She dreams. A pink mist flows from her forehead, forming images of the dreams she has consumed. They say she feeds on positive dreams, preferring those filled with joy. This is how she makes herself understood and content with her existence. Unlike Jigglypuff, who wishes to be applauded, Mushana prefers silence. She works while everyone sleeps. She is satisfied leaving people with happy dreams. To make others dream is Mushana's spark of life. But there are those who do not merely observe dreams. They provoke terrible nightmares. Darkrai does not introduce himself. He appears. His presence can induce involuntary nightmares in anyone nearby. Not out of conscious cruelty, but by nature. He wanders the world, searching for the most isolated place he can find. Yet along that path, he causes countless nightmares across the world. Reports indicate that he lives in isolation precisely so he will not hurt anyone. Like Jigglypuff, his gift is misunderstood. She puts others to sleep unintentionally. He causes bad dreams without meaning to. Both pushed away by their own power. But dreams still belong to the individual mind. And there exists a place where reality itself functions differently. In this place, it is as though nightmares exist at all times. All of reality is distorted by a single being. The laws of physics do not apply. Time does not flow, space is unstable, gravity shifts constantly. Isolated in the distortion world, Giratina is often described as solitary. His aggressiveness is sometimes interpreted as a way of coping with his isolation or of protecting his territory from intruders. Giratina is different. He does not enter your mind, he alters reality itself. And when the universe itself stood on the brink of destruction, he chose to shape his own reality, with beings the world despises just as he once was. He is not a villain. He is not a hero. He is consequence. Just as Jigglypuff never meant to put anyone to sleep, Darkrai never meant to cause nightmares. Giratina was not created to be excluded. Yet all were defined by the effect they caused. Perhaps it was never about sound. Perhaps it has always been about how the world reacts to those who are different. In his altered reality, Jigglypuff sings, and the melody does not force sleep. Darkrai walks, and nightmares lose their sting. Mr. Mime's barriers glow like sculptures suspended in shifting gravity. Mushana's mist drifts freely, painting constellations across distorted skies. Here, difference is not distortion, it is structure. And sometimes, the most powerful one is not the one who shouts the loudest. It is the one who continues to exist, even when no one understands his presence. Stay tuned for the next episodes to discover more details about these incredible creatures.